So today, we're going to talk about one of the most incredible promises ever made. I mean, a vow so huge it stretches across eons and aims to rescue every single being from suffering. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a story about a choice to literally empty hell. Let's dive in. Okay, so to really get why this promise is so epic, we have to start with the problem it's trying to solve. And honestly, it all starts with a feeling that I bet every single one of us has had. You know what I'm talking about, right? That feeling where you think you finally kicked a bad habit or changed your ways, and then boom, a few weeks later, you're right back where you started. It is so deeply, frustratingly human. The Buddha actually had this really powerful way of describing this feeling. He said we're kind of like a fish caught in a net. We get these little moments of freedom, right? We splash around thinking, I'm out, I made it. But the net of our own habits and confusion, it's still there, and it just pulls us right back in. And this is the real kicker. The idea here is that our minds are just, well, they're not all that stable. We have these great intentions, but they flicker out. But our negative patterns, man, they have this gravity to them. They're constantly pulling us back into the same old mess. It's a temporary escape, you see, not real freedom. So what if someone saw this giant cosmic net and instead of just trying to get out themselves, they decided to untangle it for everybody else first? Well, that brings us to an absolutely mind-blowing promise. Just try to wrap your head around that for a second. We're not talking about helping your family or your town. We're talking about helping every single suffering being across all the different worlds for all of time. The scale of that promise it's just staggering. And this is the one who made that promise, the Bodhisattva Kṣitigarbha. And to pull this off, they say he takes on over 100 trillion different forms. Now look, that's not just some cool symbolic number. It's meant to show you that this is an activity so unbelievably vast, so compassionate that it's happening in every single corner of the universe where someone might be hurting. So let's break this vow down real quick. First, the mission: save everybody who's trapped by their own actions, their karma. Second, he's not doing this on his own. He's tapping into this immense power that comes from the Buddha's compassion. And third, this is not a short-term gig. He promises he's going to keep this up until the next Buddha, Maitreya, shows up, which is like a whole new cosmic age away. You know, a promise this massive has to have an origin story, right? And this one starts eons and eons ago with a story about two kings. So, picture this. We're going way, way back to the time of a Buddha called All Knowledge. And there were these two kings who were best friends. They both ruled with kindness. But then, one of their kingdoms just fell apart. The people started doing all sorts of terrible things, creating so much suffering for themselves. And so these two friends had to make a choice. King A's plan was pretty logical. He said, okay, I'm going to become a Buddha as fast as I possibly can, and then I'll use that power to save everyone. Makes sense. But King B, he chose a totally different route. He vowed, nope, I will not become a Buddha until I have personally saved every single one of these suffering people. Their freedom comes before my own. And the story goes that King A did it. He became a great Buddha. And King B, the one who put everyone else's salvation before his own ultimate goal, he became the Bodhisattva Kṣitigarbha, forever defined by that insane, radical, compassionate vow. So that's the what, this incredible promise. But that leads us to the why. I mean, why is a vow like this even necessary? What is this force that has us all so trapped in the first place? Which, brings us right back to where we started. If we all want to be better, why is it so darn hard? Well, the answer goes deep into how the mind works. So in Buddhist philosophy, there's this really cool concept called the storehouse consciousness. The name's a mouthful, but the idea is actually pretty simple. Think of it like the deep, deep subconscious of your mind. It's the place where every single thing you think, say, or do plants a little karmic seed, like an imprint. And these seeds, they don't just go away. They hang out, and when the time is right, they sprout. And they literally shape your future. So why do our bad habits have such a grip on us? Well, a few reasons. One, like we said, our minds are all over the place. Two, when we plant a good seed, like, say, a New Year's resolution, we often forget to water it, right? And the motivation just fades. But three, when a negative seed sprouts, whoa, It creates more negative thoughts, which plants more negative seeds, and it just becomes this powerful, self-feeding downward spiral that is so hard to break out of. And this is where it all comes together. This is the heart of Kṣitigarbha's story. His promise isn't just some nice idea. It is a direct cosmic intervention designed to stop that very cycle. He looked at that downward spiral, that gravity of our bad habits, and he got it. He understood that most of us are going to need some help to break free. So he chose the harder path, the much, much longer path, the one where he stays right here in the struggle with all of us, because he knew just how hard it is to get out of that net on your own. And here it is, the vow, in its most famous, most powerful form. It's the ultimate statement of solidarity. He's saying, my own final goal, the highest spiritual prize you can possibly imagine, it can wait. It's not as important as getting everyone else free. And that right there, that's the whole spirit of Mahāyāna Buddhism in a nutshell. The idea is that enlightenment isn't some personal trophy you get so you can escape the world. It's a tool. It's a power you get for one reason and one reason only, to help everyone else get free too. So that kind of leaves us with a really big question to chew on, doesn't it? Kṣitigarbha's vow is this extreme cosmic example, sure, but it asks every single one of us on any scale, what does it really mean to put the well-being and the happiness of other people before your own? What does that even look like in our lives today?